Thank you for Baldwin Park. Thank you for those that are working to make Baldwin Park a great city. Put your hand upon the mayor and the city council and all of those that are working. Keep our police departments safe out there in the streets, Lord, as they are serving to protect. Move into our schools and touch our children and our teachers that are teaching our children, Lord, that they will grow and be able to go to college and reproduce the vocation here wherever you send them in Baldwin Park. And also, Lord, we thank you for the community. Touch the community, touch those that have jobs in this community and the owners that have businesses that are hiring people from the community. We asking you for your mighty hand upon Baldwin Park, that it may be a great city. In the name of the Lord we pray, amen.
Amen. Thank you. We'll face the flag. Place your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First of all, I want to say good evening to everyone that is here today on the City Council meeting. I want to also thank my colleague, the Vice Mayor of the City of Baldwin Park, Cruz Baca, for substituting while I was out of the country. This point, I'd like to close on behalf of two individuals. The first one will be Francis Ayala Casnada, who passed away at age of 87. Happens to be the aunt of Jean and Joanna Ayala, the Ayala family. So our deepest condolences goes out to this particular individual who was loving and caring and had a beautiful, infectious smile. And I had an opportunity to meet her. So she passed at the age of 87. Another individual, long-term resident of the city of Baldwin Park as well, Panfilo C. Rodriguez. His daughter, Alicia, who was a teacher for us for many, many years, had moved down to Texas, and they returned back as well. So our deepest condolences goes out to these two individuals' families. All right, council members wishing to close on anyone's behalf? Okay, if not, at this moment, Madam City Clerk or City Treasurer will take our roll call.
Good evening, everyone. Councilmember Monica Garcia.
Here.
Councilmember Susan Rubio Hernandez.
Present.
Councilmember Ricardo Pacheco. Here. Mayor Protem Cruz Baca.
Here.
Mayor Manuel Lozano.
Yeah, present. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. All righty. Okay, so at this point, council members wishing to share anything at this point?
Yeah, I just want to share an event on Saturday, February 28th. Our assembly member Roger Hernandez is having an open house, a coffee, and everyone's invited to come just to hear what's going on, an update. And it's going to happen in Irwindale at the AMVETS Post 113. And so if anybody's interested, please join us.
On Los Angeles Street? Yes. Oh, at the AMVETS? Yes. Okay, very good. And I hope did anyone know if they renewed the contract? No, they have to. Those veterans work hard for that, so I hope that's the case. So, all righty. So at this point, if no one else has any other things to discuss, we're going to go into the presentations. Before I forget, I want to just say this is to announce that as required by Government Code Section 5495.3, members of the City Council are also members of the Board of Directors of the Housing Authority and Finance Authority, which are concurrently convening with the City Council this evening, and each council member is paid an additional stipend of $30 for attending the Housing Authority meeting and $50 for attending the Finance Authority meeting. All right, so the first presentation that we have here is the presentation by Sandra Butter, Director, and Dora Gomez, board members of the project 2911, a community development corporation. So thank you very much for being here this evening.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
We had a picture slides to show, but our little flash drive decided to have PMS. So, but anyway, we are able to describe it. Good evening, Mayor Lozano and council members. Sandy Footer and I, Dora Gomez, are here on behalf of Project 2911, a community development corporation. Sandy Footer is the director, and I am on the board. We first want to thank you, Mayor Lozano, for giving us the opportunity to do this presentation before you and the City Council about Project 2911. Sandy and I will be presenting the different programs and special events that we've done or have available. The outreach programs and the services that Project 2911 provides are specifically designed to help individual families improve their quality of life and become self-sufficient members of their community. Our tagline or motto is, meet a need, change a life. I could give you a plethora of stats, but I would rather give you some stories of people that are currently benefiting from the services we offer at Project 2911. Our Economic Relief Center encompasses the food bank and clothing rack. Our Economic Relief Center services any resident within the San Gabriel Valley. Families or individuals are welcome to return to our food bank and clothing rack once a month to receive free food and clothing. Now, the Economic Relief Center is opened on Tuesday and Thursday from 2 to 5:30, Wednesday and Friday from 2 to 4, and we put some of these flyers on the back, so if anybody is interested, and the address and phone number and our website is on there also, so the time they can see when the food bank and clothing rack are open, or if you want to take some to pass it out also. It's available in the back and on our website, which is also on the flyer. Some of our volunteers are or were past recipients of the services that we offer. And in various areas, we have approximately about 180 volunteers in different capacities. So we have a lot of people helping because it takes a lot of people to do what we're doing. Let me tell you about one of the volunteers that we have. Her name is Maggie. Maggie has worked at her job for 22 years when she unexpectedly became a casualty of downsizing. That same year, she was appointed guardian over her grandchildren. She needed help and was not sure where to find it. Someone directed her to Project 2911, where she now receives help on a regular monthly basis with food and clothing. Maggie soon wanted to give back. She wanted to help others as Project 2911 had helped her. She is now one of our many volunteers and enjoys seeing the smile on the faces of our clients as she now helps at the Economic Relief Center. Now, one of the things that we also offer, other than just giving food on once during the week, on the 4 days of the week, is at Thanksgiving we have what we call our food bags and turkeys. This year, for Thanksgiving, we were able to pass out 270 turkeys and bags of food to complete a Thanksgiving meal for those that couldn't afford to go buy, for Thanksgiving. And we want to thank Assemblyman Roger Hernandez, State Senator Ed Hernandez, and Congresswoman Grace Napolitano for the contributions of the turkeys. We also have another program at Project 2911. It's called Higher Hope. Higher Hope is our job assistance program, and we assist clients that are looking for jobs. We help our clients with filling out job applications, resumes, and preparation for job interviews. One side note, if you are a business owner or in a position of hiring for employment, please contact our office. We are always looking for opportunities for employment for our client. And one thing that I did not have on here, but I'm very proud of, is that the person that oversees our job assistance program is a recent retired person from Edison, and she was in the HR department, so she knows exactly what employers are looking for. Now, let me tell you about one of our several success stories from our Higher Hope program. Carlos, he was in our Higher Hope program. Carlos had not worked in several years. With a background of felony convictions, incarceration time, finding a job was a task that constantly left him feeling discouraged and defeated. Through a referral from a social worker, Carlos found his way to our Higher Hope program, where he sought help in finding a job. Our program volunteers diligently worked with him, providing workplace, readiness training, include resume and cover letter writing, online job search and application assistance, and interview preparation. Carlos is now one of 6 clients with previous felony convictions who have found work and are now able to support their family. Again, like our tagline says, meet a need, change a life.
Good evening. Thank you also, Mayor Lozano and council members, for allowing us to come here and share with you a little bit about what we do. I was reading the paper, the Tribune, and there was an article that said the most recent census said that there are 1.7 million people in Los Angeles County alone that are living below the federal poverty level. For a family of 4, this looks like it's just under $25,000 annually. I looked up the stats here for the city of Baldwin Park. 17.5% of the community is living at this level. What we do at Project 2911 is give them some tangible hope. One of the reasons that we became a corporation was to give people hope, to let them know that there's a future, that wherever they are today, this isn't where you have to stay. But sometimes people need a leg up. They need food, they need clothing, they need someone to direct them, to show them how to apply for jobs, as Doris said. Our director is great. I mean, the things that she tells them, I've seen her take resumes and just turn them into awesome-looking things. And today it's so different. I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but back when I used to do jobs, I could go in, hand them a resume, they take a look, and they say yay or nay. Now they don't get to see you. You're one of 250 applicants that are putting in a resume online. They have no idea whether you're qualified, who you are, anything. But our director helps them through that process. What we also do to help people is we do 2 large events a year. The next one is coming up in August. It's called the Back to School Blast. There are hundreds of children out there that start school that have to go back with an old backpack that has holes in it, no new clothes, no new haircuts, nothing. It doesn't make a child eager to go back to school. It doesn't make them excited when they have to go and see their peers and they have new backpacks. They have the school supplies that we don't think a lot of, but they cost. I used to have 2 girls. It's a mini fortune to start buying pencils and papers and notebooks and backpacks and all of this. And most of our clients do not have a lot of, they have a lot of children, so they end up having to spend an awful lot of money. We do this event once a year. We're going on our 15th year. We have not only backpacks that we give away, but we have a health unit that provides free screening. They give away eye screenings, dental screenings. We have medical personnel there. This past year, we gave away flu shots, blood sugar screenings. Even with Obamacare, a lot of people just do not go and take the time to do this. So we're able to help them in this one location. The other large event that we do, and we just finished it, is our community Christmas party. The holidays is one of the toughest times for people that are struggling. When you can't afford to give a toy to your child, it's really, really difficult. So the idea behind this event was to not only give a child a toy, but to make that parent feel good, to let them have a good day. So what we do is we bring them in, we sit them down, we serve them food with the hundreds of volunteers that it literally takes to do an event like this. And then the children get their gift, and the families go home with a bag of food to help them have a Christmas dinner for that year. I hope that you all got one of these that show that for the past 5 years, over 10,000 residents from Baldwin Park have utilized the resources that we have. And this year, we're making a push to come out and go to the schools and some of the different churches in this area to let people know that we do have food and we have clothing and these events. We hit the schools and we pass out flyers and ask the teachers to pass them out to the families of the children who might not otherwise get that. We've been doing this for many, many years. Our statistics show that it's been over 10,000 people from here. And if you look at the food bank, on an average, at least 100 residents from Baldwin Park are coming to our food bank to get food. So we really want to continue to do this. We're going to do a bigger push this year, as I said, to reach out more into the city of Baldwin Park. Honestly, we're waiting for funding. We can't do this kind of events and pass out food unless we get help from different areas. And a lot of businesses have partnered up with us. Like Dora said, Assemblyman Hernandez, Senator Hernandez, Grace Napolitano, they've helped us get donated turkeys and things. So as everyone comes together, we can reach out into the community and these families that are hurting, that don't have the food, that don't know how to get a job, all of these things. We're there to help them, and we just wanted you guys to know so that your community can know that. So thank you very much for allowing us to give this presentation. We have flyers in the back. You have information there. Okay.
I want to thank you very much for the great job that you obviously have contributed, not only in Baldwin Park, but throughout the region. And it's sad to say that in America, one of the wealthiest countries on planet Earth, we have poverty, and we have people that are in need. There's a particular resident who we placed up in the hotel who doesn't work, who basically spent her last day there today. So maybe calling you to see if you could at least guide us, because I know everyone else is pretty much impacted by a lot of the different individuals that are in great need.
I have list of transitional homes. I made up a list because there's several food banks in the surrounding area. So I always tell our clients, you come and visit us, you go to this next one, you go to this next one, so that they can make it through the months. I have transitional homes.
I could get your
talk to
card
people.
or I guess the information there. Now, I'm going to make an effort of visiting your facility because
That
it's very
would be
important.
awesome.
Now, also, you probably have never applied for the CDBG grants, right?
We haven't.
Okay.
We will. I have applied for one of the cities, so
That's
that
your
would be
card.
great. But that would be great if you'd come and see it, because you can see everything is right there, and you can see our people at work. And again, we just want to reach out and help people in the community, and we're making our way into Baldwin Park because our funding is getting a little bit bigger. Businesses, everybody's just coming together because there is a big need in this country, especially in this valley and in the east part of San Gabriel Valley.
That is so true.
Again, thank you so much for
Thank
all
you very
your-
much. I look forward to being there. Thank you.
Mayor, I just wanted to,
Yes, Councilmember.
just wanted to thank you for the outstanding job you're doing here in the San Gabriel Valley.
Thank you.
It sounds like a good program. I'd like to see it expand into Baldwin Park. I think you're right. There's a big need for a lot of lower-income individuals that need help, and this is really a very dignified way to try to bring them in and really support them. So thank you very much for your efforts. And I see you left a pamphlet here.
Yes.
So we could tell other people how to get services there. So do you have more of these, or maybe staff could make some more copies?
I don't have, we had the flyers that have the food bank information back here. I gave
Oh,
some
okay.
to, and also we have a pamphlet for our job assistance program. So you guys, I have some here, and I gave some to Alejandra, so that you can just, have them available for, I know some of the cities keep them in their city hall, so when their constituents call, we get referrals an awful lot. So that's what we're looking for. That's what we're here for, to, Lord willing, I don't know in my time, but one day we won't have this kind of issue. It won't be so prevalent here in the valley, but if we all come together, we can make a difference in the families and let people know that, my favorite word is, they're not just chicken liver, that there's people that care, and together we can do that.
One more
Thank you,
note,
ladies.
we are a 501c3, so we are tax deductible. You can use it as a tax deduction. And we have been vetted by United Way, so we are on their list also.
Oh.
But
When is a community development block grant hearing? Do we have that, Mark? 'Cause you might want to take note of this so that you come in on that particular date. Do we have a date? Or if not, if we could contact them, please?
Yeah, I can get their information and we can follow up later on.
Because that may be a way for us to possibly contribute or assist, I should say.
Thank you.
I have a question, and I know I spoke to you, Sandra?
Yes.
Yes, last council meeting. I have a question because I know that the mayor and a council member have mentioned we do have an overabundance sometimes of people that are looking for housing, even if it's transitional housing or housing for just a few nights. Can we refer anybody to you, or how do we do that so that?
You can refer them. I'd like to say one of my visions is one day that we'll be able to have transitional housing under Project 2911. But honestly, that's about 5 years down the line. But I've made a point. I know several places, especially I look for predominantly women and children, because men, no disrespect to men, but they could go to the Salvation Army, and it's not so bizarre for them if there's a nutcase there. But if you're a mother with your children, you don't necessarily want to do that. So I have about 3 or 4 that are in the San Gabriel Valley area. There's not a lot actually in the East San Gabriel. There's Pasadena, Upper Pasadena, some in El Monte and stuff, but right here in our area, we don't have a whole bunch, and it's really sad because we do have a large group of people that have lost their homes for various reasons. But you can have them call me, and I could walk them through what I have and things like that. We can't help with everything, but I have information for people if they're having issue with their utility bills. We don't, at this point in time, have monies. We have food and clothing. But I know of organizations that they can call and so forth. So what we don't have, I have tried to accumulate the information to pass on to help in whatever way we can, you know.
Thank you. And now, how far are you from, because some of these people don't have a vehicle,
Well,
how far are you from public transportation?
Oh, from public transportation, I believe the bus is, we're off of Citrus and San Bernardino, and so there are buses right there. The Metrolink actually stops right there, about a block. So if you take a Metrolink, which is kind of costly, but the bus stops somewhere right in that vicinity. So it's about a block from our food bank. You know,
Right
Thank you very
across
much.
the street from the fire department and police department.
Oh, okay. All right. I know exactly. Okay. Thank you very much.
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I look forward to visiting you.
Okay.
All righty. Okay, moving along. The next presentation that we have is the presentation of new GOR or GO request mobile application for reporting graffiti, potholes, and other community service items featuring the GO request video tutorial. Thank you very much. Good evening.
We were just going to show a short video that staff had prepared to kind of market this application that can be used to report graffiti and other city services.
Awesome. That's great. Thank you. Mark, what's up, buddy?
Hi, I'm David Mortensen, computer specialist for the city of Baldwin Park. I'm going to take a moment
Dave,
to
I
show
thought that
you a
was,
very
isn't that your
useful
voice, Dave?
application. It's called Go Request, and it's free on the iTunes App Store and Google Play Store. Just search for Go Request and download it to your device. Type your store password when prompted. Open the app. For best results, let the app use your device's location data. Allowing notifications is completely optional. Scroll through the participating cities and select Baldwin Park. Let's report a new issue. Give it a tap. The app uses your current location as the problem area, but you can drag the map around to flag other locations if you've already left the area. Tap Select Issue. There's a variety of issues you can report. Let's choose graffiti. Adding a photo can help responders locate the problem spot. You can choose to take a new photo or pick one you took earlier. Let's take a new one. We will of course need to grant Go Request access to our camera the first time we use it. When you're satisfied with the shot, tap Use Photo. We can add comments to this report to help responders find it. For this example, let's just describe it. You can leave your contact info blank to report anonymously, but if you want to be notified of this issue's resolution, you can choose to fill in your name and email or phone number. Tap Submit, and you'll receive an issue number. You can revisit past reports under Tracked Issues. In that screen, you will be given an expected date of completion for your request, and you will receive email updates if you choose to give your email address. It's that easy. We look forward to better serving our community with your help and the Go Request app.
Awesome.
Any question?
This is great. It'll bring us up so that everyone's accessible for everyone. Okay, any questions? Excellent presentation. Mark, Dave, thank you very much, gentlemen.
One question.
Oh, yes, go ahead.
I don't know if I missed it, but I think it's important to let the people know that it's free.
Yeah, it's free.
It's a free app. Yeah.
It's
Lots of
free
people
and-
are afraid to download because they might get charged, so
It's free on the iOS and Google Play stores.
thank you.
All righty. Okay, thank you very much. The next presentation that we have by Lance Muga, Executive Director of Community Media of Foothills. So, Lance, hey, what's going on, bud? Where did I run into you, Lance?
At the market, I think.
Where?
The market.
The market, that's right. I thought it was that. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor
Thank you,
and council and city staff for having us here tonight. I'm very proud to present to you some of the work that we've been doing in Baldwin Park. And, we are a 501c3, and, our mission is to promote freedom of expression and pride in the community and connection to government. And so I'll just give you, let the video play.
The City of Baldwin Park's local government and education channel exists to give residents a sense of community, culture, and connection to its government. And CMF does this by shooting and televising such things as concerts and events of community interest, as well as by giving the local government an outlet to communicate its agenda to its residents. Things like public service announcements, made either locally or provided by other agencies, to event coverage like State of the City.
We've had some wonderful concerts here in the beautiful city of Baldwin Park. It's given an opportunity for our seniors, our children, our families, and our businesses to all get together.
Órale.
In 2014, we've worked with city staff to shoot such events as concerts in the park. We've also shot the Taste of Baldwin Park Festival.
Hi, I'm Mayor Pro Tem Ricardo Pacheco, and I want to welcome you to a Taste of Baldwin Park. This is an exciting event that we have to invite all of our constituents and all our residents in our city to get to know the different flavors of restaurants that we have here in our city, and also to get together and enjoy the music that we have here with our concerts.
Public service announcements may let residents know about things like water conservation techniques or fire safety or crime prevention, and a new PSA for the Baldwin Park Farmers Market. Or may even simply introduce them to various city departments that they may find useful.
It's completely within our reach to create a beautiful, safe, and vibrant city.
Lower our city, Baldwin Park is a one-stop permitting center that provides one-on-one personal attention to help ensure business success. Real people nurturing business through community development. That's Baldwin Park.
We're here to come together as a community, to hear new ideas, to talk about the challenges that we face here in our community.
Thank you so much for being here. It's always exciting to see our seniors, our youth, Congresswomen.
Let's give a great hand to the Honorable and the Distinguished Congresswoman Grace Napolitano.
I have a great respect for the work that has been done by the council, by the school board, by the law enforcement, by the veterans.
Shows that CMF produces internally include things like Justice Matters, that tackles important issues on the immigration front.
Hola, y gracias por estar conmigo en mi programa. Mi nombre es Patricia Corrales. Muchos de ustedes me conocen como Patti Corrales.
And other educational documentaries that showcase the multicultural success that we have here in the San Gabriel Valley.
In 1969, if you came into the United States, certainly the ability to get a driver's license was much more easily available. And to get a driver's license meant you can get a Social Security card.
Having local origin programming on the cable channel here in Baldwin Park provides an invaluable connection to the city and a powerful tool for the city's government to connect its residents to the richness of the city itself. We at Community Media of the Foothills thank you for the opportunity to participate in this process.
Excellent. That's very good. Very nice. Like that. Council members have any questions? Other than, you know what I think would be nice, I mean, because Lance, you do a really good job with all your team, is to, there's a lot of opportunities that we miss historical opportunities. We have recorded the park and the parking lot and all kinds of things. So maybe we could somehow work you into some of the projects that we have coming up.
We are here for the council to use, really. I mean, the more we're a phone call away. Anything that you'd like to do, we have volunteers as well. So even if it's not one of the the events that we would normally cover, just to I agree. We should establish as much communication as we can. So whenever things come up, the more material we can get for the channel, the better. Even the nonprofit that was just up here, would be a worthy candidate to consider for a public service announcement. Doing some service announcements that are evergreen, meaning they last long term, and then over a period of a year, you can build up a library of things that you can use for the channel longer term. So that's my personal goal for this year is to identify things that we can cover in the community that may allow even for sponsors to come on board and to help increase the value of the channel, and just the content in general in Baldwin Park longer term is a good thing for us to be looking at in this coming year. And we've worked with the city attorney and city staff to identify the ways to do that, and so we really look forward to doing that moving forward.
Mayor?
Awesome. Great. Yes, Councilmember. Yes, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Well, if I can ask Mark to connect with you, it would be nice to always invite him to all the grand openings. I know we have the Rome coming up, and the mayor is correct that we've had so many missed opportunities, and so it would be really nice for him to always be invited to every event. But I also would like to see things that are not necessarily, as part of the city for example, if you can somehow promote literacy, and I know we just have the grand opening of our new library, something where you can showcase the kids doing crafts, because we've been there on the weekends, and the kids are always doing something, and sort of a promotional to our library and our literacy programs and after-school programs and that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. I will reach out personally to the council and just look for suggestions, and to the city manager as well. So we can just kind of build a library of suggestions and things that we can do moving forward. I think that's a great idea.
Thank you.
I have a question. How do residents know, depending on the cable channel they have, what channel 3 would be on?
It's just the one cable company here in town, so it's just that's the main mode that they would have to do it. One of the other things I think that would be good in terms of outreach is maybe communicating via the patch in Baldwin Park, who we spoke with before, and other things that go out to the city to just advertise the fact that these events go up on the channel. Some of them can't be put online because they're copyrighted concert material and things like that wouldn't lend themselves to that. But for the channel, it would. And also for some of the more evergreen PSAs and stuff, there are things that the city may be able to take advantage of for its website as well as for just the channel.
So like Time Warner would be channel 3, and
right.
And like Verizon.
Verizon, I don't know if they carry your channel. Actually, I think it's just Time Warner.
Dish, okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Dish does not carry it.
I have a comment.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Chris. I'll answer.
I have
just
a comment.
Quick question.
Oh,
All right.
go ahead.
You're on cable channel only?
I'm sorry?
Just on the cable channel?
That's right. Yes.
Okay.
It's for the cable channel, and select things do go online as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I have a question, and I don't know how you would go about this, but I would also like to see, and it was brought up at the meeting that we had yesterday, Councilmember Pacheco, to also incorporate our school district, to maybe have our superintendent or assistant superintendent or some of the board members talk about events, talk about things that are happening within our school district, and maybe even our water board. Very important things, like you had said, I think, about water conservation,
right,
or some of the important things that are going on. They have wonderful events where they educate the public on certain ways to save water. That might be also something that might be nice for our residents to see as well.
I think that if we maybe gather a list from the council directly in terms of what you'd like to see, and then I can work with the city staff to make that into a list of the kind of official things that we'll cover, and then beyond that we can find ways to reach out and to schools and things like that. I think are excellent ideas. And the other thing is too, we have a studio very close by. It's 15 minutes away in Monrovia. And as part of what we do, that studio is available for at least, for some shooting for instance, if you wanted to do something with city staff talking about issues that were important to the community, that's something that I'd like to be able to have you take advantage of. So if you could determine what are the issues that are the most important to really discuss, we could actually do a longer sit-down conversation about it, and the city could designate someone on staff or the council or whoever to come in and do that.
Yeah, I would love, staff, I'm sure, has a way to maybe we should have like some type of a study session or something to
Sure.
figure out what are the
Yeah,
points.
and I'm happy to come and participate in that, or, again, I will reach out via email to everyone and kind of gather a list, and then I can work with the city manager and the city staff to whittle it down to the top priorities that the city would like to see, and we
Okay.
can go from there.
Thank you very much. Nice presentation.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anyone else? Any other interests? Okay, if not, all right. Thank you very much, Lance. Good job as always. Say hi to the
you.
wife.
I will do so. Thank
All
you.
right, buddy. Thank you very much. All right, so at this point, that's it. We're going to go into public communication. Anyone wishing to speak, please state your name. You have approximately 3 minutes.
Good evening, Ken Woods, business owner and resident. With all the major things going on in our city, this might seem trivial, but the 4200 block of Alderson has become a dump site. And it's always a mess. Couches, TVs, rugs, blah, blah. And not only we who use that street have to look at it, but there are thousands and thousands of people on that Metrolink, and that's what they see in Baldwin Park, is that crap stuck on the side. It's on the sidewalk. They don't try to hide it in the alley. They put it right out on the street. You know, this cable guy, why can't he set up a video camera and catch these guys that are dumping this crap? It'd be great to get a car license and turn it over to the cops. I'm sure they'd love to catch these guys, because it's been going on for a long, long time, and why should we all have to clean it up? There are ways to get rid of that stuff legally, and they don't give a darn. You know, they just dump it on our street. And again, what really bothers me is that the Metrolink people are looking at Baldwin Park as a drive-through on the train, and they see that crap laying on the street. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Wood. Okay, move on with public communication.
Hello, City Council, Baldwin Park residents. I think you people need to speak to the Unified School District. Everywhere they have a bus stop, those kids get off the bus and they make everything look like a jungle. They throw their candy wrappers, their sandwich, or whatever they don't eat, they throw it on the floor. I live on Ledford. When that bus parks in front of that house, when them kids all leave, it looks like a dump. The Unified School District needs to make sure that these kids understand they're not supposed to throw their litter all over the place. And it's happening at every bus stop, wherever you go. Also, I think the city of Baldwin Park needs to go around and take pictures of these homes that are looking terrible all through the city. I don't think I've heard any of you, maybe a couple of the people that have to go out and work in the field, have come back and said, I think we need to clean this area. I don't think I've heard any of you people say that up there. I think you're trying very hard to clean up the city, but it's not happening. Also, you have a vending sign that says no vending. We have a gentleman that goes down the street selling ice cream. How can you put up a sign, say no vending, and you allow somebody to go down these streets selling ice cream? Are you guys all backwards or something, or you don't understand what you put up there? Or are you putting it up there saying, you other people can't do this, but this person can? That's wrong. That means everybody that sells something out there doesn't deserve to be vending it. So you people get that straight. One of the two, you take the sign down and throw it in the trash, or you make sure these people can't sell. You complain a lot that the city ain't doing this, the city ain't doing that. But you people, I've yet to see any of you down my street. Any of you. I don't even remember seeing any of you. The only time they go to that nature park is when they had a meeting with this gentleman over here. But that's the only time. So what are you guys doing up here? You should be checking the city out. You have a van parked out there. How many of you people been in that van and gone around anywhere in Baldwin Park to check out the neighborhood? The only time I think you go there is when something concerns somebody's permit to build something. And you go to that direct place, do your business, and then you leave. So you people supposed to work for the city of Baldwin Park residents. You're not doing too good on that part. I understand you want to build this, build that. That's great. But you need to make sure things are taken care of.
Mr. Luna, your
Not
time's
doing
up.
that. There goes my 3 minutes again.
Thank you. Good evening. Hey, Thomas.
Thomas Carey, former resident of Baldwin Park. I was over at the library today. They really did quite a job in there. It was really a dump before, but it looks totally different now. They have to buzz you into the bathroom, which is probably a good thing. There wasn't a mark in there. No scratches, no etching, no anything. So they got a good view of the bathroom when they buzz you in, so they know who is going in there. Like you're saying about the stuff being dumped over there, I've been telling you for years to put cameras where you have problems. I know the city didn't have the money before, but you have a little bit more money now, provided you don't get yourself in trouble with litigation. And we know who I'm referring to there. What I wanted to talk about, though, is I read in the paper that they're talking about the Caltrans being behind $59 billion, that's billion with a B, on road repairs, and they want to tack on $52 more a year on everybody's registration to pay for it because of the backlog. That train this idiot wants to build, that's $68 billion and all that litigation they're going to face in the next 3 years till they get him out of there so they can kill this thing, would sure go a long way toward fixing the roads, and that helps everybody rather than a select few that'll never ride that train anyway. It's going to be taxpayer supported, just like the Amtrak is now by the federal government. And that's what's going to happen with this high-speed rail. It's not all it's cracked up to be. It's stupid. They don't even have all the land they need. They say it's $68 billion. It's probably going to be $368 billion. That'll sure fix a lot of roads and a lot of bridges and a lot of other things too. This Brown, he's an idiot. I would use his other words, but you know what word I want to use. Words. So, but that pretty well covers it. I don't want to get into things too much. There is one thing though that I wanted to say. I had trouble finding tax forms. They want everybody to do that stuff online, I guess. I prefer paper. I want to write it down, and all. I found some in West Covina, but not very many. Baldwin Park didn't have any either. The post office, nope. So I guess it's the IRS office over on D Street down there, downtown San Bernardino. It's ugly down there. That's where the city council meets. I've never been there. I won't go down there at night. It's not safe there. Well, it's safer here. Got a good police force here. They take care of everything.
Thomas, your time's up.
It's safe to walk around here.
All right,
Time's
Thomas.
up already? Oh.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Thomas. We'll hope to see you back home in Baldwin Park as a resident. All right.
Hello, good evening. My name is Diana Partida. I'm the field representative from the office of Assemblymember Roger Hernandez. I just wanted to add a couple more upcoming event announcements. We're going to be having the AV60 forum in the city of El Monte, and it's open to all the community, not only just El Monte, Baldwin Park, and their district as well. And we're also having nominations for Women of the Year. All this information is up on the Baldwin Park City website, but you guys are more than welcome to also contact our office, and we will provide any information as well. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, move on. Yes. Hey, Al Contreras.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, and audience. I wear too many hats. I guess even though I'm supposed to be retired, I still wear too many hats. But anyway, as president of Valley County Water, we're going to have, next Wednesday, we're going to be having a demonstration of drought-tolerant plants from 9 o'clock in the morning to 11 o'clock. So anyone's welcome. The public's invited to attend and see our demonstration. As you know, we didn't have any rain at all the whole month of January, and as of today, we haven't, so we're very low on water. I like the presentation by Lance. I've been pushing for a video for the city of Baldwin Park. As also president of the Baldwin Park Sister City Association, some people, when we travel, they would like to see a map or some information about the city of Baldwin Park. I think part of his presentation, some of the items that he presented could be part of the overall city demonstration, and we can promote the city, whether it's a League of Cities or anything else, or for potential funding throughout the state or federal government. So I think that's great to have it ready, handy to hand out when it's needed. So I'll be looking forward to maybe helping out. And the reason why I say that is because a week from this Saturday, the Baldwin Park Sister City Association will be recognized on our National Sister City Association, U.S., Mexico, and Riverside. All of you are welcome. I know Mr. Mayor Lozano will be attending it. And we're also going to be going to Tasco Guerrero on April 1st through the 6th. Anyone is welcome to attend. Any other council members and or mayor, if you want to go, please let me know.
Oh, yeah, so when is that?
April 1st, we'll be leaving at 12:10 a.m. Wednesday morning, arriving in Mexico City, where they'll pick us up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and be departing back the following Monday at 7 o'clock. And we would like to travel on the same plane and come back at the same time, as Tasco Guerrero is about 2.5 hours from Mexico City, and we don't want to be making too many stops and picking up different people at different times.
Okay.
And please let me know if you guys are interested.
Yes,
we do have room for 6 more people if they want to attend. Thank you very much, and have a great evening.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Al, if I can just add to that, and just to clarify, because Tasco Guerrero is our sister cities, it's a beautiful city, and the trip last time I went was beautiful. And what it is 2 cities collaborating to try and help certain nonprofit organizations. Like last time we went to Tasco, we helped out a school that didn't have a playground, and I remember donating money for them to have just a decent playground. I remember that they were kicking cans around, and these are very poor communities, and so they do a lot of good work, a lot of positive work. And so anyways, just wanted to reiterate that there are sister cities, and they always receive us with open arms. Thank you.
We're a small group of 15 members. And one of the reasons why we're being recognized is we, City of Baldwin Park, our Baldwin Park City Association, gave out $6,000 in scholarships, just as much as the national sister city, U.S. Mexico.
I'm sorry, sir, your time's up.
Hey! Director, Councilmember Rubio took 30 of my seconds. Thank you very much.
We gave you that time.
All righty. Moving along with public communication. All right, good evening.
Now I can talk. My name is Amanda Serrato, 51-year resident of Baldwin Park.
That's right.
There were 3 other people today talking about unsightly places in Baldwin Park, and I have the same concern. In the street where I live, that it opens up to Baldwin Park Boulevard, there is a property. The side of it, the city side of that property is not kept up at all. It is trashy, very ugly looking. People that coming on that boulevard, which is very busy, would not want to buy there because it is ugly. Also, regarding graffiti, I did call several times, and I was transferred to a machine They never called me back, so I called one more time and made sure that I was put through to a live person, and the graffiti was taken care of pretty much the following day, which is what I remember of it. So thank you for that. However, it was just that part. There is more graffiti along and around the block. So I think that all of us in Baldwin Park that have this type of complaint should show up so that we can understand that it is serious. We need to make beautiful Baldwin Park beautiful. Need to clean it up. Who enforces the regulation that says that property owners must keep their property in good state? So whoever does it needs to be done. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rato. Nice to see you. We'll see you at the library. I know your friends at the library.
One of the gentlemen that came up said that the library was ugly looking before, trashy. It wasn't. It was not as pretty as it is now, but it was not trashy. And right now it's very, very beautiful. I'm very proud of it.
Thank you.
Margarita Vargas, now the same subject of trash. The other day I went to El Jacal, and you know where it is. Yes. In the corner of the parking lot at Foster, they have a box like where people donate like clothes and things like that. But around that box, it was, furniture, trash. It was a mess. So I called that day, I was in the restaurant, and I called Public Works, and they said they couldn't do anything because it was in the parking lot, only if it was on the street. So I said, so who can take care of this? So she told me that she was going to call, a code enforcement. But I don't know if they did. And I was trying to call Del Jacal to see if they clean it, but I couldn't, it was busy right now. So I just wanted, to make sure that somebody goes and check that, because you go into a restaurant to have dinner and then the first thing you see is trash, you lose your appetite. So I don't think it's good for all those businesses right there. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Mayor, I'd like to add something. Sorry, that was loud.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, Margarita, yes, you're right, and I have reported that also. And it happens to be in all those those containers that we have talked about where they leave the clothing items. But yes, that side is ugly. I didn't send you the picture, Shannon, but I have talked to the person in charge of code enforcement, but it's still there. It's very unsightly. I live around the corner from there, and it is embarrassing. But that's not the only spot. Every place that has those boxes that collect clothing, there's always trash. And I was told a couple of months ago that they were going to get removed, but I still see them all over the city. So I don't know who's in charge or how they got here, but I really do believe they don't belong in our city. Thank you.
Mayor?
Yes, Councilman Ricardo Pacheco.
Yeah, I got a lot of complaints about a lot of sofas, mattresses, and all those things left. So if we could get staff, Shannon, on that and have somebody drive around picking up all that, trash. I mean, I have a number of residents complaining, just a number of people, coming here at the council, but outside of the council, this is just becoming a bigger problem, and maybe we need to take a look at it and attack it from a different standpoint. Here, thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, we'll get back to public communication. Yes, Mr. Rios, good evening.
Good evening. About the trash and stuff like that, I see it every day, okay? 95% of the time I'll call Dan, and within the day or the same day, they'll send somebody to pick it up. Close to the city yard. Over the weekend, construction company came by those empty lots that we have there, dump all their trash right there. I called Dan, and I went by today, and it was already picked up. It's getting worse, and most of the times when I see something, I'll call Dan, and they'll pick it up right away. And if I see the guys in the weekend, I'll talk to them, and they'll pick it up themselves. A lot of times I'll pick it up myself in my truck, and I'll take it to Walnut Creek and dump it in there, But it is getting worse. The worst part of it is on Best in front of the hospital, the parking lot. we get probably thousands of people going through there, and they see that, they're going to say, well, dude, look what's happening right here in Baldwin Park. You know, why we going to need to, Dan, let them sweep that place up, cut the weeds and stuff like that again. But on the graffiti, I think our biggest problems are kids running around doing graffiti. You go to a hardware store, they got their cans locked up. You need a can, they'll open it up. You have to be 18 or 21 years of age. But you go to the swap meets, you can pick up whatever you want right then. I think we need to get with the sheriff's department, which they take care of violent swap meet. And they should go and walk around and see who's selling the spray cans, citate them, they're not allowed to be selling the spray cans. And on the nonprofit organizations, there's a lot of nonprofit organizations within the city which they donate and they supply food for everybody. Starting with my daughter's church, The New Beginning, every Friday they have that. They have men's homes, they have girls' home, and they have children's home too. You know, they're very well organized. I was invited to see their operation. I was really impressed. The people that are running it, they're very smart people. Yeah. So it's something that we have to look out for the churches and nonprofit organizations and help them out, you know.
Mr. Rios, your time's up.
Oh, there we go again.
All right, thank you very much. Went along with public communication. See no further interest, and I'll declare the public communication closed. First of all, let me recognize someone that usually comes up here, and he gave us a break tonight. Mr. Tuttle, thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Mayor,
All right, yes.
in regards to
Okay.
the trash situation, and I live around the corner from where Mr. Wood's business is, I have called Public Works for the city of Irwindale about 3 or 4 times. I finally did get Ray Rodriguez, and the lot across the street from me has tumbleweeds and everything, and the trash comes into our yard and along Alderson. He did say that that particular parcel belongs to SCE, and they are going to probably in the next week start cleaning it. I did tell him, am I holding you to your word? Because if not, I'm going to the city myself and have you clean it for me. But they did say that they were, the only part, though, is across the street from Mr. Woods. It belongs to Metrolink, and the tumbleweeds are unbelievable there. So we should get a hold of someone from Metrolink to take care of that. Absolutely, I think of that every morning when I see the train go by and I see the trash, and it is a dumping site at 4219 Alderson, which is next to one of our properties. It's like almost every other day. Couches, cement, rocks, anything you can think of is dumped there. So I am trying to see if some of that could be cleaned up.
Great. Awesome. Thank you. Anyone else? If not, at this point, let's go over to consent calendar. We have.
Mayor, I just want
Sure.
to report on a meeting that I had. I'm on the chairman for the 2+2 committee. It's a committee to address issues with a number of different agencies. We held a meeting yesterday at 217 on the 3rd floor at about 5:30, and we had in attendance a number of representatives from Mount Sac, the Baldwin Park School Board, the Valley County Water, and our city staff. In particular, the board member from the Water District was Margarita Vargas, and her general manager from the Valley County Water, Linda. From the school board, we had a board member, Blanca Rubio, the Baldwin Park superintendent of schools, Paul Civiano, Christine Dennis was there. She's the assistant superintendent. Also, from Mount Sac, we had the president, Dr. Scroggins. From the Mount Sac School Board member, we had Laura Santos, our Mayor Pro Tem Cruz Baca, and myself. City staff was Shannon and Mark Castellano. And there was a number of topics that we spoke about. In particular, we're having a discussion about a Mount SAC satellite, or looking at strategies to be able to work together to bring some college classes here to the city, and to be able to address our issues of education for our community at the college level, and also to discuss vocational programs that could be brought in to the schools. So by talking to the school board and the Mount SAC board, there's been a lot of discussion about working together and collaborating and using some of the facilities here in Baldwin Park, and being able to offer college courses for the general public, and doing dual enrollment courses for the student, and also looking at different kinds of vocational programs. And some of the programs that we will look at is water technology, because in the long run, there's a lot of retirements that are planned within the different water agencies, and we want to have opportunities here in Baldwin Park for individuals to train for those kinds of vocational program, whether it's construction trades or any other, or utility trades or any other type of program. Just make it available to decrease the unemployment in Baldwin Park, which is about 12%, which is a lot higher than most the state or other surrounding cities near here. So we're continuing to have this discussion. We're looking at different ways to put these programs together. There's some funding from the state that we're looking at, which in about May or June we'll be able to see if we'll be able to use some of those funds. So these are some of the programs that we're looking at. We're also looking at more outreach for the Mount SAC, for different college programs, by using either the Now, which led into discussion that possibly the Now could be collaborative with the different, with Mount SAC, Valley County Water, the school board, and the city. And we used to have it all together, and we were able to save costs by sharing that, having the different agencies working together to provide information to the public through the different services that we all offer. Also, possibly the billboards that we have, we could advertise more of the college classes that Mount SAC offers, and the programs that we offer here in our community. So with that, hopefully, as we continue, I'll keep reporting on our progress, but I think we are moving forward, and I think we'll be able to have a program pretty soon here in the future. Okay, so that's my report for that committee. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman Ricardo Pacheco. All right, at this point, we're going to go into the consent calendar. I was
Mayor,
giving one, yes.
Before we do that really quick, I just wanted to make a couple of comments. I do agree that these bins have been popping up, and it does create a nuisance not only in our community. I know other communities have been struggling with that as well. And what I've learned is that there are companies that just go and plant these bins. And so if we can look at conditions of approval and see if there's any, language that says, in order to add another structure in your parking lot, or, you have to get the approval from the city, something along those lines, because I've experienced that in other communities, and that has definitely been language that's helped with enforcement. And then I wanted to ask our Director of Public Works and Community Development if there's a task force, if there's a task force that you guys have considered just to go and see what's going on in our community, in the different neighborhoods. The way that I like to see our city is it's kind of like in 4 quadrants. And sometimes I feel like there's so much improvement in one quadrant, and then, in another, there's so much opportunity for, and so much potential for improvement. And so if there's some thought that can be given to that, and maybe, through a task force effort, I know that we had done that before with the PD and with the graffiti removal crews, but looking at some of those hotspot issues, and then maybe in the process of addressing those, you can look at like a survey of some improvements that could really go a long way in any one of those neighborhoods, and that could really, it could really beef up that community pride. And then in the process, as we're keeping track and surveying, we can be identifying grants, any restricted funds, things like that. So if you could consider that, that would be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. At this point, moving along with the consent calendar. If I forget, I'm going to go we're going to amend the agenda with a one from the attached document pertaining to agenda number 7. So we should have that. So we're going to add this as an amendment for that. So at this point, I will move for consent calendars of items 1 through 9. Council members wishing to pull any items? If not, at this point, I will entertain a motion to move consent calendars 1 through 9. That's my motion.
Second.
Any objections? Seeing none, so move. All right, thank you. At this point, we're going to go over to...
Mayor, if I just
yes,
may
sir.
interrupt you for a second.
Yes, sir.
I would like to have the city staff prepare a statement for the issues on item 9 in concern with the sex offenders and why we chose to reappeal it, to appeal that.
Legal counsel, thank you.
Well, I mean, I would like a legal counsel opinion, but also if staff could write something to address that issue.
Okay. Okay.
Go ahead, legal counsel. You were going to.
So you want to?
You're going to address that issue.
Thank you, Councilmember Pacheco, Mayor Lozano. I think it's important to note that this repeal of the sex offender ordinance is really because the state has occupied the field regarding the sex offender ordinance. So cities are not allowed to adopt rules that conflict with the state or restrict movement and so forth of sex offenders that are not consistent with state law. In addition, even though the actual city ordinance is being repealed, the City of Baldwin Park and its police department will continue to enforce any sex offender violations through state law. So there's not going to be any drop in enforcement. There's not going to be anything that changes from today. It's simply that instead of having a Baldwin Park ordinance, we use the state law, which we're required to do. In addition, there have been lawsuits of other cities, and the lawsuits have been successful where these ordinances, just like Baldwin Park, have been ruled to be unlawful. And that's not the reason we're changing that's not the reason we're changing our ordinance. We simply are just doing that because we believe it's the best practices at this point. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Well noted. At this point, we'll go to the reports of officers, the item number 10, which is the conceptual design for Walnut Creek Nature Park. Who is covering this?
I will, Mr. Mayor. At this point, I'd like to bring up Monica Killen, Program Supervisor for the department. She'll elaborate a little bit about the project and introduce our architect. Monica?
Hi, Monica.
Mayor and members of the City Council, thank you very much. This past fall, we worked with the city worked with the Restoration Design Group to create a conceptual design for Walnut Creek Nature Park. The process included receiving input from the community, working with city staff, and the presentation that we're going to be having today is a culmination of this process that started in August of 2014. I would like to introduce Bob Birkeland of Restoration Design Group. He is a landscape architect that worked with the city. We were very pleased with the work of Bob as well as his team. They are out of Berkeley, and they came down to do the public input meetings and meet with city staff. And so we're very fortunate to have worked with this firm, and we're really pleased with the outcome of the conceptual design. Once we move forward with this process, we will be looking to possibly using the conceptual design to seek additional funding for this park. So I'd like to introduce Bob Birkeland.
Good evening, Mr. Birkeland.
Thank you, Mayor and Council, staff. My name is Bob Birkeland. I'm with Restoration Design Group of Berkeley, and I want to applaud your city staff, Monica and Annie, for having faith in our firm and selecting an out-of-town firm that would have to fly down here for meetings. It's been really fulfilling for us. We love working with small communities. It works well. We're a small firm. And I'd just like to thank you for that opportunity. It's been great working with everybody. Let's go ahead and start the show then. I just click that. Okay. The Restoration Design Group team involved myself and other staff members, Rich Walkling, Peter Rowan, And key to our team was Kenneth Hughes, our associate structural engineer, who assessed your observation structure. As mentioned, there were a series of public meetings, but starting with a kickoff meeting and structural assessment meeting in August, and then the 2 meetings you see there. As we get into our work, and this is going to be a short presentation here, there is a lot of thinking and mulling over, a lot of site visits and site analysis. And when we come to a place like Walnut Creek, it's not in our neighborhood. In some ways that's good because we look at it with fresh eyes, but in other ways we have to catch up. And the staff was instrumental in helping us do that, as well as the community. As you can see here, Walnut Creek, and you know it, the Walnut Creek Nature Park is a little peculiar in that it's an interior park that's surrounded by homes. There's not a big frontage along a city street like some of your other parks, Barnes Park, for instance. That has both privacy, great privacy opportunities, but also security challenges and challenges along with the neighbors. But it's big and it's sheltered. It's a nature park, but it can also be a gathering place. Key elements involve the swale, the structure, the parking, the big pathway, and this connection to the Walnut Creek Wash. We know we needed, as we move forward, to respect the neighbors and to balance access with security. We needed to come up with a cost-effective, durable, and low-maintenance design, and that, most importantly, any new design had to bring the community back to this park. It's been in disrepair for a while now, and it's time to rejuvenate it. So we came up with the city staff and the community stakeholders some big concepts here. A big nature concept that focused on nature, keeping much of what you see there intact, including the low bridge. We looked at a big recreation concept in red there, bringing in activities from the lower right corner, picnic shelters and even possibly a dog run, to turf play, basketball court, and the like. And then finally, a big bridge concept. This could be coupled with either of the other 2 concepts, but it relied on a big idea. And the big idea was to bring the bridge out of the swale, make it ADA accessible, which is very important, obviously, and make it a big feature that links out to, hopefully, your future Walnut Creek Wash Trail. So we took these concepts then into the first public meeting, which was really about gathering ideas. A lot of diverse opinions, but there was an emphasis on nature play, nature, and a well-patrolled and well-lit park. Here you can see the community. They're voting with dots. Very active session. And we had all the results of that. Brought them back together with city staff again. And the notion moving forward was to emphasize the founding principle of this park, the nature park, its habitat. Try to incorporate play into this feature instead of having it separate from it. They liked the big bridge concept, but security was really primary. So then we continued to work forward for this public meeting with a design process to take those early ideas and try to bring them together into a design. So I'll run through a quick series of diagrams here. We looked at the built facility. It's well sited. You have some issues with your observation structure. There's good access. And there's the question of open or closed park. And that is a big discussion point. There's landscape and water. This wonderful swale that you have is really something to embrace. Circulation, it's a large park, and it allows for a great experience in walking around, and in the future, a great opportunity to connect to the wash. There you see how we're diagramming the big bridge, big swale idea.
Very nice.
In this case, the swale is increased, and the bridge goes over it, and activity centers as well. Security, finally, this is diagrammatic, showing the lighting that could occur there. And this led us into a concept plan. So here is the concept plan. You can see the large trail sweeping around the park, a plaza adjacent to the parking area, connecting the structure, making that really a focal point, bringing this bold swale to fill in that whole perimeter pathway. And we're going to walk around real quickly now through these sections. Off of Fraser, you can see now in more detail how that plaza would open up to the parking, make that a really nice seamless connection. More open entries, which could be fenced. The open or closed issue is really for the community and city to decide. Moving through, there's more detail of the swale itself, possible community gardens or a bike shed area with Bike San Gabriel. Connections to the wash, again, this is very diagrammatic at this point, and a play area that would incorporate both small play and big play, but also rock and adventure play that could connect to the swale. This idea of integrating nature with play is really important. A couple of sections there looking through the big structure. And then on to some quick sketches here off of Fraser, high and low fencing. Open entry at Fraser, cycle walking trail. Bridge, planting islands to protect the planting and open up views for safety. And some images looking down from the wash, towards the wash from the park, and to the park from the wash, and some play area features as well. And then finally, just to the park itself. We wanted to be bold, we wanted to be intuitive, nature-focused. Want to be clear that this park concept can work both with a closed and an open perimeter system, and it can be built in phases. Thank you.
All right, council members have any question? I think this project is really nice. Definitely going to bring up this particular Walnut Creek, which is a very unique park as well. I like the presentation. Council members have any questions?
Mayor, yes, I'm glad to see that this program is starting to come through. I know that there was a lot of community input and several meetings with the community, so this is a culmination of all their ideas put together, and you're coming out with this result of this project. What are the steps from here? I mean, how much is the cost for this project, and where's the funding coming from, and those kinds of
Well, I'll address the cost estimate and then let Monica speak to the second half. A preliminary cost estimate in some detail, done conservatively, so the numbers are high, with a large contingency, was over $3 million to complete all of the work. That includes...
How much did you say?
$3 million.
Okay.
I know that may sound kind of shocking, but it's a large park. This is 4.56 acres. This is not a small pocket park. And features like a bridge, that would be a special, one of the things the community wanted to see was, what did they call it, or in the city staff too, a hook, right? It was, what was it? A theme, but there was also just an idea of having an element in the park that would draw people in there. And I guess the bridge has been important in the past as a photo prop for a lot of the weddings that occur there, and this new bridge could do that. But it comes at a cost. Construction, as you know, these days is very expensive. It's not like it was even 5-10 years ago. So we're faced with that. That said, it can be done in phases. And Monica can speak more to the money that she's seeking out at this time.
As you know, we do have some money secured already for Walnut Creek Nature Park. We have some funding for the RMC, which is what led to completing this conceptual design project. We also have $200,000 from Los Angeles County Prop A money that we received under former Supervisor Gloria Molina. And then we also have $220,000 from the California Natural Resources Agency. And so these are some of the, and we also have $25,000 from the Upper San Gabriel Valley Municipal Water District for a bioswale. And so these are the funds that we currently have available to start the first phase of the project. We are, with having a conceptual design, this will put us in a better position to secure additional funding. The RMC has demonstrated an interest in, once this conceptual design phase has been completed, to allocate some additional money. They had preliminary had said about $180,000 that might be available to the city to complete additional items at Walnut Creek Nature Park. Earlier this month, we also submitted a grant to the Land and Water Conservation Fund for $480,000. We're hoping that we would be considered for the grant. Their timeline for a notification would be in the fall of the end of this year. And so that's one of the areas that we're looking at. But one of the things that, in speaking to some potential funders, is they always want to see where direction this park is going to be going in. And so having this conceptual design will put us in a much better category of saying the city is in a shovel-ready or almost shovel-ready to go into a construction phase.
Mayor.
Oh, yes, Councilmember Monica Garcia.
So, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, because you were asking questions. Go ahead.
So approximately how much do we have at this point? I know you gave out numbers in your head, and I didn't write
I
it.
think it's about 440,000, 430. What we have 220, 200, so that's 420, 35, 475.
Okay, so what would a first phase cost?
The first phase, what we're looking at is to improve the landscaping, also looking at the trail. Right now, the walking trail, the California Natural Resources Agency is looking to fund the walking trail, make that an improvement. Right now, it's just a dirt trail at this point. We'd like to make it a more like a DG or some other sustainable type of walking trail, as well as landscaping. There's a lot of issues with the current condition of the park regarding landscaping, and so the state would also be interested in having a sustainable, drought-tolerant planting at the park as well.
So would that be in addition to the 400 and plus money that we have?
The that money is currently the $220,000 that the state is looking to give us, the California Natural Resources Agency.
If I may interject, we have approximately $400,000 for phase one. We have a little bit more, but we are going to have an expenditure for the construction documents. So we have to budget that, and we are hoping that the RMC, as Monica mentioned, they're looking at contributing approximately $180,000 as soon as this conceptual plan is approved by the city council. So to answer your question, we have about $400,000 for phase one, possibly more depending on the RMC and the grants that we have outstanding at the current time.
Okay, so the steps forward are what if we approve this and then you come back with a full report?
Absolutely. This is just a conceptual. From here, we will move forward with construction documents.
So
and at that point, we'll work closer with
construction
public
documents
works.
from our last project was $250,000. So is that what?
Excuse me?
Our Civic Center construction costs for just engineering documents were about $250,000. Are we? Is that about the cost for this one, or?
No, for our construction docs, probably have to refer to our public works director. I believe construction docs are usually about 7 to 8% of the project. Yes. So if our for phase one project will be approximately $500,000, then it would be 7 to 8% of $500,000.
Okay. All right. Thank you,
Mayor.
Yes,
Thank you.
Councilmember Monica Garcia.
Yes. First of all, I do want to compliment you on the designs. I think they look great. I think for me, I really love the more natural, passive, components of the design. And I do like the idea that you're kind of injecting the space with maybe some, kind of a community gathering place, perhaps for weddings and special events. So I think that would add some sustainability to the model. I would like to know a little bit more about the educational programming that we had discussed early on, how we're going to be partnering with some of the regional agencies so that we can, talk about preservation and things like that. I would like to see that, part of this design or maybe at a later discussion. but I just want to make sure that that is definitely an important component. And then I do want to just also remind everybody that when this park was first being, discussed and just kind of talked about, in a proposal, very conceptual, extremely conceptual, the first response back was, we don't have money, we don't have funding. And so with a little bit of heart and soul and bringing, regional partners together, now today we have about 400,000 for phase 1 for some improvements. And so I really want to acknowledge that we've come a long way, and it's been a very positive experience. I do agree that this will probably be in phases, and I would imagine that the bridge and then the renovation of the structure are probably the most expensive, and really the writing is on the wall with that structure. It is, in Spanish we would say pudriendo. It's like it's kind of it's being eaten up by bugs and termites and things like that. So I think we're going to have to deal with it at some point, regardless.
The word is podrido.
Podrido. But what is it? Podrido. Podrido, yes. So it's basically rotting is what it is. So at some point we will have to deal with it. I mean, it becomes a risk and a liability to us. And so, I just want to kind of add the perspective there. And the funding that we've received to date is not funding from the city. That's not city funding. That's funding from partners and from our partners going out and leveraging and, getting additional funds. So this design will certainly help us in the longer effort. And I do applaud, all the work that you guys have put into this. Thank you so much for listening to our community. And, I definitely am very supportive of moving forward.
I have a question. Thank you very much. The meetings have been great to see our community with all the input that they have put in. But I would like to see, or I would like for you to explain to me exactly what will phase 1 entail. What are we going to see during phase 1?
Cruz, and if I can add to your question as well, because, I see 3 big conceptual designs here. So I just want to know what the expectation is. Do you want us at this point to give direction as to which design we prefer?
No, we are requesting for the city council to approve the conceptual design. And maybe, Monica, if we could pull up the conceptual design and maybe highlight that one more time. And as soon as the construction documents are completed and we go out to bid, phase 1 will probably be more landscaping, more of the infrastructure. So maybe you could talk a little bit more about that, Bob.
We've both Manny and Monica and I and others have been in conversations about what this first phase would be, and I don't want to assume that I know what it is, but one of the issues, I think there'll be a couple issues, where you get your funding from, and Monica is going out for a grant now that will deal with the structure. Is that correct? So if the money comes in for the structure, you'll fix the structure because that's where the money will be dedicated to, and that will be a good thing, because just like in your yard at home, you wouldn't build your garden and then build your home. So as Manny mentioned, this infrastructure, we don't want to, or you don't want to, paint yourself in a corner and do a series of improvements that are in the way of a future construction within the park. So it's a little tricky, but I think starting with the structure, actually, if that money does come in, would be helpful. And then going through and doing really just a cleanup, green up of the landscape components, and possibly a new path and some new irrigation would be a good start. I would hope at the same time it at least address over the entire surface of the park improvements, minor improvements to play areas as they are today, in such a way that you wouldn't be spending too much money that would have to be revisited in the future.
I have another question. During the phase 1, will the residents be able to use that park? Will it be available to them? Those that, when I've been there several times, I've seen people walking their dogs, or a lot of the neighbors use it to walk or sit out there. Would the residents or the public be able to use the park while it's under construction, or will it be closed for a certain period of time? That's question number one. Number two is, if we go ahead and with the conceptual design and approve it, how soon are we looking at all of this starting?
Well, I could probably answer in regards to construction. I would estimate construction will probably commence at the end of the calendar year. Most likely September, October, November. We have to create the construction documents. Then after that, we need to go out to bid. And in regards to the park being open, depending on what they're going to work on, I would probably estimate that the park would probably be closed. If they're working on the structure, they will have heavy machinery. If they're making improvements to the infrastructure, the irrigation, the trails, I would imagine that they would need to be undisturbed. And for liability reasons, I would assume the park would need to be closed. But that's something that we could probably discuss at a later time, and I could collaborate with our Public Works Director as well as the contractor.
So you're looking at about 400,000 to start?
Yes, approximately 400,000. And I'm hoping that the city can contribute some CDBG funds, possibly if the city has any access to any additional funds or any Quinby funds.
All righty. Any other questions? Thank you very much for this, and looking forward and hoping we could make this a reality, because that part of the town deserves this type of facility. Yes.
So, Mayor, with that, I'd like to move to approve this.
All right, I'll second. Any objections?
Mayor,
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
fine with it. I just want to see it come back in a form of a study session. I want to look at the financing of how we're going to do it, the actual phase breakdown. So I just want to see more detail than what I'm being shown here.
Okay, we will provide more detail. And any future improvements would definitely go back to the city council. This is just a conceptual process.
Okay.
To approve a
I want to see the
conceptual.
phases broken down, how, the cost and how you're going to do phase 1, 2, and 3. So if you could bring that back.
Sure.
In the form of a study session, so we have a little more time to discuss it. Thank you.
All righty.
I would like to add one more thing that I would like, along with Councilmember Pacheco. I would also like to see specific timeframes. I mean, it won't be etched in stone, but at least to know, we will be starting in September, October, November, whatever, of 2015. But in 2016, by March or April, we plan to see this phase or whatever it is. And also so that when the residents ask us, when will the park be open, we will have an idea as to when they'll be able to use it again.
Sure. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for that presentation as well. We will now go over to the...
Mayor, I think
Yes.
we had a motion and a second, but I don't remember.
Okay, were there any objections?
No.
So moved. Thank you very much. All right, at this point, we'll go over to item number 12, which is a mid-year budget review. So,
Mayor,
Yes.
I'm sorry, did we deal with 11? Because I know that.
restoration of, sorry about that, previous city events.
And for the interest of time, I just wanted to share, if we can just bring it back so we can discuss it a little
Okay.
further, so we don't
All right.
have to
Why
spend
don't we do that
time on
then?
this. Is that okay?
Yes, that's fine.
Thank you.
All right, so
Thank you.
mid-year budget review. Shannon?
Yes, our
Oh, sorry about
finance
this.
director is going to give us a short presentation on that.
I'm waiting. Okay. Yes. Let's see. Okay, David. I get it to move. Okay, thank you for your time tonight. I'm very happy to report that the first 6 months of this fiscal year has been very positive on a number of fronts in terms of our operating revenues. which I've distinguished because the last couple of years we've had major one-time revenue sources. Our operating revenues for the first 6 months of fiscal year 14-15 is $7,436,130. This is an increase over last year for the same time period of $790,614 when you exclude the $1 million we received in the franchise renewal fee. As you're aware from last year's budget hearings, a little over 86% of Baldwin Park's general fund revenues come from our various taxes. And so understanding what is happening with our tax revenues to me is very crucial. As you can see, everything looks very positive. Our property taxes, at least through the first 6 months, are up 6.2% from last year. Our TOT is, while it's a lesser amount of money, it's $13,000 rather than more, it's up 20% over last year. Our franchise tax is up 8.2%. Our utility users tax is 6.3%. Our largest revenue source, which is our sales tax, is up only 1.3%, but that's still positive after having a year of negative because of the loss of one specialty manufacturer in terms of their wholesale business. Our sales tax probably will not meet our budget estimates, but because most of the other tax bases are higher than last year, our overall tax revenue should be above what we're projecting for the end of the year in terms of budget. And then our business license tax revenue is actually up 15% over the same period as last year. Some of our, I think one of the more interesting things in terms of what's happening in Baldwin Park that is a very positive indicator is the number of our development-related fees and permits that are substantially up over last year. Our plan check fees have actually doubled from last year, and at this time, in fact, our plan check fees are almost at mid-year, meeting the whole year's budget. Our building fees, as you can see, are also up, and construction permits are up 81% over this time last year, and I'm not sure if that includes two of the major things that's still sitting in the pipeline for approvals in terms of a couple. So that doesn't include some of major projects that have been still before you. Our vehicle code fines are up slightly. Our parking citations are up a bit. In recreation, Manny has seen the facilities significantly increased usage over last year for the same time period. As you can see, that's up almost 48% over last year, and recreation activities are up 15.6%. So all of those are extremely positive for the first 6 months, and I think are reflective of what's happening with both the economy and the activity in Baldwin Park. On the other side, in terms of expenditures, through the first 6 months, we've only spent 47% of our general fund. Generally, you want it at 50% or less, and so we are there. I want to commend all of the department heads and the staff for their diligent efforts in trying to keep costs down and look for the best bargain and monitor all of their spending. And then, of course, we had several new positions that we are in the process of filling that we've had salary savings from, and then just other vacancies that have accounted for that. As you can see, here is the departmental breakdown. Everybody's at 50% or below except for finance. I don't know what's happening there. I do. We pay all of the audit costs during the first 6 months. And actually, when you exclude the audit, we're actually, or you prorate the audit, we're actually below 50%. And recreation community services would also be below 50%, except the first 6 months we pay both the principal and half of the interest on the bonds or COPs that were used to build the community center. So they get a big more of a hit in the first 6 months than they do in the last 6 months. Also, in terms of activity levels, July and August and the first part of September those are very heavy activity months for recreation. So really that, is very well in terms of that. And everybody else has just really done an outstanding job in as you can see, in controlling their costs. While I've concentrated on the general fund, we did review all of our special revenue funds. The revenues are within our projections, and the expenditures are within the guidelines. The general fund, as I say, appears positive. We do think some revenues are going to smooth out, and of course it's hard to predict what will happen with the development activities, and so I'm always a little cautious when I see some of those spike at one part of the year, that they may or may not continue at the same levels. The expenditure levels do not include any of the potential MOUs that are being discussed, so those will have to still be factored in. And then there are a couple contracts that we generally don't pay till January or February that aren't in those first 6 months of numbers. But overall, it's extremely positive. And I want to thank all of the staff, and I want to thank the mayor and council for the time you've given in looking at everything. And I'm open for questions.
All right.
I just want to thank everyone. It's obvious that at working together as a team, we can make this happen. I feel very positive about everything that will happen in the future, and I know that a lot of work has gone into this. So thank you very much, everyone.
All right, thank you.
Mayor, I just want to, again, point out to the staff, this is, I'm glad all of you are monitoring your budgets. It's good to hear that we're 50% of our expected budget. You guys are doing a good job, so you're all to be commended. I'm glad to see that we're able to keep our police department and keep we're looking a lot better this year. We're looking at putting back activities in our community for the Parks and Recreation, a lot of new equipment for our police department. I think that's great. I want to thank our chief of police for doing a great job and really using a lot of the resources that are available to you, not tapping the general fund, and just really supporting our police department with all the tools they're needed. So I want to thank you for that, and thank the rest of the staff, our finance director, for doing a fine job. I know you've been up late a lot of nights. I saw a lot of frustration on your face trying to make this happen, but you finally were able to put it all together. So I want to thank you for your efforts and keeping things straight and being forward with us. Good or bad news, we want to hear it, and that allows us to make the decisions as a city council that we need to make for our residents. So I want to thank you and city management for doing a great job. Thank you.
Mayor?
Yeah, thank you.
If I may go next. I just want to thank all staff. I know that one of the concerns or issues with morale in the past have been, raises, and I know that negotiations have taken a long time, and so I just want to thank staff. It's been a long time, and they've been patient. They've worked hard with the same enthusiasm. I mean, I see some of you here so late, and I get emails really late, and once again, you've been waiting for this for a long time, so thank you for your patience. And I know that we're getting there, and hopefully everyone's going to be satisfied. But once again, thank you for your patience. I know it's been a long time, and you put the same amount of work with the same amount of enthusiasm, so thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else wish to speak? All right, I just want to say, well, first of all, I think that what we did in the past paid off, because when you look at the $6 million that we were able to save in reserve, at the same time not hiring, freezing a lot of positions, even though we went through a rough time, but we got through the recession. So now we're seeing the fruitions of some of the tough decisions that were made. And as we know, our closed session, I think that we're going to definitely make a lot of people happy, but we have 3 years as well to make sure that we at least fill the coffers and the reserve for the city of Baldwin Park, because I think that we're headed in the right direction. I want to thank everyone equally and thank all the participants, because I think we have good times ahead of us. Thank you. All right, at this point, I will go ahead and go into the Actually, the consent calendar for the city council acting as a successor agency of the community. So, number one, which is the approve and recognize obligation payment schedule for Rope 15 and 16A for the period from July 1st, 2015 to December 31st, 2015, and associated administrative budgets. So I will go ahead and make a motion. Anyone have questions? Items A through E. So they've been seconded by Councilman Ricardo Pacheco. Any objections? See none, so moved. All right, we'll go down to the requests, and I have on here the direction for staff on a contract amendment proposed for the contract between the city and infrastructure engineers executed on June 19, 2014. What I spoke to Shannon about this, there's a lot of projects that, for me, appear to be on hold and a kind of a snail's pace. And of course, it's not because of our current staff, because we do lack specific ones. And I know that we have a contract with the engineering company, so I want to see if we could change out the actual current amendment. So our CEO, I sent you off, I think, what I had requested. Am I correct? Why don't we pass this out? Now, obviously, we're not going to make a decision on this right now, but if we could place that on there so we could bring that either for discussion or for us to amend the actual contract and place it on consent calendar. So I don't expect us to. I guess since it's not agenda.
I think
Mayor?
Yes.
one of the items that I'm concerned about that was brought to my attention is the agreement for call for professional services on the compensation portion is needs to be, I think, redrafted or relooked at.
Yes, that is correct.
Because it kind of, I've always thought when you put these limits, it does slow things down. And the intention of a call for projects is you list you do an RFQ for your contractors, and then you don't have to go back through the process again. But the way the compensation portion is written, basically, if it just states that for each of the contractors, it's not just infrastructure engineers, but all of them would just be limited to 10,000. Then you'd have to come back
Get
an
approval.
RFP. So it's not written correctly, and it needs to be looked at and reevaluated so that the direction is clear to staff. It's like it's limiting $10,000 for one time, like one project, and not. It doesn't say it needs to go back for multiple projects. It's the way it's written that I think is not accurate. And 10,000 is a very low limit, but nonetheless, our ordinances say 10,000. So I think over 10,000, I think it needs to come back anyways. I mean, you don't have to put in the contract. It's already in our ordinances how that works. So we could look at this. I know you have presented this. We could take a look at it. Would it have to come back in a form of a contract, or what are you proposing, Mayor?
Actually, I would like. Yes, go ahead.
I would like to bring this back to give it a chance to be able to look at this. I mean, this amendment, we were just given this. I hadn't.
Oh, no, I agree. It will come back.
That's fine. No, because I know it's not up for a vote. Just
Right.
So this will bring it back and talk about it, and then from there move
Yes,
forward.
could we please?
Yes,
Thank you.
absolutely. All right. So thank you, Councilman Ricardo Pacheco, and now Vice Mayor Cruz Baca. All right. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and move for adjournment.
Second.
Yeah, objection, see none, so moved. This point, I will open up the Finance Authority and what we have on here is consent calendars, items 1, which is Treasurer's Report. I'll move for approval.
Second.
Second. Any objections? See none, so move. At this point, I will move for adjournment of
Mayor,
the.
really quick before you do that, I'm sorry. I do want to report on my attendance at the ICA
that's right.
conference in February every year.
Have the Housing Authority left.
That's okay. Every year I've attended that conference, and it's great. We get together with some of our colleagues from the region, talk about public safety. A couple of items this year involves like money laundering that's happening kind of under in the underground economy, and just a variety of public safety issues that were very, very informative. So I just wanted to report on that. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. At this point, we move for adjournment. It was second, and no objections. Alrighty. So at this point, we'll open up the Housing Authority, and we have consent calendar items 1. I'll make a motion to move for approval. Second. Any objections? See none, so move. At this point, I will now move for adjournment of the Housing Authority. Yes.
Yes.
That's fine. That's fine. Go ahead. Council.
I just
Vice
wanted to
Mayor.
comment on the Chinese New Year, the Lunar New
yeah, I
Year
wasn't
celebration. It was wonderful. We did have Captain Bartolotti that did attend, and Officer Harvey. They did attend in Chief's absence, but it was so much fun. Maria Contreras was there. She and I chased down the dragon. But it was very, very wonderful with dumplings, and the people had a wonderful time. I think there were close to 200 people or more there. So it was a wonderful event. And tomorrow is the actual New Year, Lunar New Year, the year of the ram or the sheep, whatever you want to call it. Thank you. Sorry.
All right, that's fine. That's fine. All right. Thank you very much. At this point, I will move for adjournment.
Second.
Any objections? See none. So move. Viva Baldwin Park. Thank you very much.